Hello and welcome to Iceland Roundup.
Hello, thank you.
This time around, we're gonna try to round up last week's news again. And today, Aðalsteinn is back
big ball. Hello.
Into a
You
big
had such a great show last week.
with your substitute,
The
and
dog.
coworker.
Yeah, the dog was like a way better person to be on this show.
The dog has a great personality,
Smiles.
smiles, and the owner too.
Well,
He's all right.
he's all right.
Good seeing him again though. I hadn't seen him for a while. You see him every day, don't you?
Yeah, I see him every day.
I
Polly.
I think I realized that I have seen him a lot, and he tries to say hello to me, and I don't know who he is, and I just like hello, and now I could finally connect a name to the face. That's the man from the internet. I've seen you on the internet.
This has been resolved now.
Yes, I have met the man
Wow.
from the internet,
Now he's
and it was every bit as
Thrilling
awesome
as
as I could have hoped.
a fulfilling experience.
Very good. Yeah, what are you and Valur working on these days? What evil are you unearthing?
Unearthing. Wow. That sounds like gardening.
Yeah.
You've been doing any gardening lately?
No, but I have plans
Yeah.
to put down potatoes.
So you're
Potatoes.
Are
sold
you
the
like
field.
Are you like a prepper?
What?
You know, like a doomer or whatever. Like you think the
world is-
apocalypse is coming and you got to start growing potatoes.
No, we do it every year. I have a
The
like-
apocalypse?
yeah, yeah.
No, the potatoes.
I have this. I mean, your birthday is coming up, and I'm gonna give you like an owl hattur.
Okay. Just so long as you don't give me a potato, I can't eat carbs.
Aluminum hat.
Aluminum hat.
Very good.
Yeah.
From
I'm wearing it
aluminum-
underneath my hat right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
It's Icelandic aluminum
Of course.
Hand smelted.
from the Icelandic aluminum smelter Rio Tinto.
It's not a hat from Guðjón Heiðar Valgarðsson
No,
and his podcast, The Aluminum Hat.
No,
They
he
only
has
one.
his own. That would be like a great like merch drop.
Yeah.
Aluminum hats.
Aluminum hats. Indeed, it
you,
would be.
you don't do gardening.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't like getting my hands dirty.
You can wear gloves.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that.
Did you mean
That's
it more-
smart.
Yeah.
I can tell you've done gardening before.
Yep.
Yeah, I would never have heard of it.
Anything aside from potatoes you grow?
Yeah. I mean, we have like strawberries and some kind of salad, green stuffs.
And so you
Lettuce.
maybe I wasn't paying attention. Did you already put down the potatoes, or are
No,
you
this
no, no.
thrilling subject. How
No.
could you drop out?
No, I've been working on what's it called, like a fella tree to
cutting down trees?
Cut down trees.
cut on trees. Yeah,
To make
I've got
space for the-
injuries on my hand from that. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Haven't you guys missed me and all the interesting
Yeah,
topics?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do?
So where have you been felling trees?
In my garden.
What
Yeah,
kind?
It's important that you attend to your
showing a lot of
garden.
confidence in that carbon capture company that you can just cut down all the trees you want now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a subscriber at Climeworks.
Yeah.
So it's been taken care of
Yep.
at some point in the future.
I'm offset sometimes in the next 6 years.
What
Was
kind
that the deal? It's just like I want to write like a critical takedown of your company. It's just like, oh, we're not sure about that. But what if I buy some of your product? It's just like, oh, okay, yeah. I think we can work something out.
Yeah, I'm not being truthful. I haven't subscribed.
You haven't
to
been carbon
Climeworks.
neutralized.
No, I haven't.
And you have 4 kids, so there's a lot of
4
neutralizing.
kids,
Yeah.
drive a diesel-powered car from America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow, this is starting to become a takedown of me as a person.
This is what happens when you come on this podcast. All kinds of shit comes up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like fucking Jerry Springer up in here.
Yeah, are you doing your part, Aðalsteinn,
Yeah.
to save the world?
Definitely not.
Yeah, we have out back and on backstage, we have all the carbon that you have emitted over the last few years, and the two of you are gonna have a bitch fight.
Let's welcome the carbon in the room.
Yeah.
We may need a bigger room
Yeah.
and a bigger backstage.
Okay, so the news.
Yeah.
Have we ever managed to round up
The actual news?
the actual news?
Well,
I feel like something has congealed out of it.
I
We
want to.
round it up into a ball, and it's
I kind of want to project. So
roughly spherical.
you're planning to plant potatoes.
Yeah.
This week.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, this week
You've seen the weather forecast, right?
raining.
There's a storm warning for the whole island.
Is it?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, but I have
The
so
potatoes
many
are
like
underground.
nice
Surely the
trees
storm won't
around.
affect them.
When there's like storm,
Mm.
I never put away the trampoline in my backyard.
Neither do I.
It stays like. It isn't like.
It doubles as like a potato shield.
Yeah. No,
I
it isn't. I haven't like secured it to anything. It's just on the ground, and
Mm.
it's been there for years.
So it's just staying there out of habit, no matter the wind.
Yeah.
Is this a way that are you trying to describe how unaffected by wind your yard is?
Yes.
Is what you're saying? Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like acknowledging how lazy I am.
I mean, you're hardworking enough to plant potatoes. I don't plant jack shit.
No, I don't plant jack shit as well. I don't have a
You
friend
plant
named
potatoes.
Jack.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you sow jack shit, do you reap jack shit? I don't know. I don't know how this works. No, I just wanted to put it out there that there's a weather warning for tomorrow and this week.
That's news.
Yeah, that's news.
And
But it's like this week's news.
it's this week's news. So
It's
it's kinda
before
like-
doing the future news, like we talked about that one
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
It's
It's kind of opposed to the
whole-
concept of the podcast.
Yeah.
And people should, be aware. And there could be snow in the highlands. Don't go driving on your summer tires in some winter, like in some mountain roads with snow on them.
Yeah,
Probably a
check
good idea
your
to not do that.
Dacia.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Dacia Dusters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it pronounced Dacia?
I don't know.
Okay.
Dacia.
Dacia.
It was
Dacia.
it was the province of the Roman Empire.
Yeah,
Right.
very briefly so. It was a province of the Roman Empire in the 2nd century AD. Conquered
Now,
Like modern day Romania.
now
modern day
we're-
Romania, conquered by Trajan.
Mm.
And then I think they gave up after like 100 years or something on keeping it.
we're doing a miserable job. We talked about
That's
this week's news,
100
and then
years.
we're just like
Longer than
100
I've-
years ago.
Longer than I've governed a Roman
Yeah.
province. I feel like they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, Trajan was the last Roman emperor to properly expand the empire.
Mhm. If
Um,
we would to expand the Icelandic Empire, where would we go?
The bottom of the ocean,
Yeah.
under the sea.
Greenland?
Make an alliance with what's his name? Triton, King Triton, of
Yeah.
the merman.
Yeah. Okay, makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
Neptune?
Neptune.
Well, yeah, the Roman.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's always bugged me?
No,
I think
please tell.
Okay, I think the guy who named Uranus
Yeah.
was.
Oh no.
Now our listeners and
That's-
those watching on YouTube can see the typical response to a fire alarm in Iceland.
Fuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What does
This
this
is what
sound
happens
stop?
when you try to tell a butt joke.
Yeah.
We should, like, maybe remember
I hate
that
to be
we are
sounding
in
the
a
alarm, but
Should
This
we
is
be
a
running
re-
for our lives
really old wooden building.
with a
with a-
big pizza oven on the ground floor?
Yeah, commercial kitchen just on the floor below.
Should we leave?
Uh,
I don't know. I mean,
someone will come get us if it's.
we're on the 2nd floor. We can just jump out the window and probably be fine.
I like my legs. I want to.
Yeah, so do
I
I.
want to break my legs.
I would like be tempted to jump out the window because I've signed up for this ultra marathon. I'm not ready for.
That's one way of getting out of it. Look, my legs are broken. I can't do it.
I don't have any legs.
Or that.
I don't have the legs for this.
Wow, this is a long one.
Are we
maybe
doing
this
this?
is a real
Are we-
one.
Yeah.
I think we should pause, right?
Yeah, let's pause.
Herra, eigum að byrja aftur?
Yow.
All right, Aðalsteinn, we're back.
Oh.
The fire alarm has been turned off.
Been disabled.
The fire has been put out.
Mhm.
Was there a fire? Did you see a fire?
There was no fire.
No.
And we can continue.
I think Sindri is on fire with his cap.
Yeah, I agree.
People love this cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Puffin cap.
I literally just found it somewhere. I don't even remember where.
Well,
They're just blowing in the streets here. These
Yep.
stupid fucking puffin caps. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
So, to the news.
It makes people think I'm a tourist, actually. It's helpful.
I really like, I was just thinking when I was riding my bike to work this morning, like I really like dressing up as a tourist.
Mhm.
I have this like Santa Mari jacket. It's
Yeah.
like Tryggjala skel. What's it called? It's
a
like
three-layered shell thing. I don't know.
yeah, thank you.
Like Gore-Tex?
Gore-Tex? I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's like it keeps me dry.
Yeah.
And then
Speaking of tourism, you guys were running some features on tourism this last issue.
yeah, tourism and just like the insane amount of paid parking that's that has popped
the
up
parking
around.
Grift.
Yeah, it's like there are no rules about it. You can just like open up a parking lot and then start charging these crazy amounts for basically nothing.
Mhm.
And all these places that you used to be able to just drive up to and take a walk, look at this beautiful nature or
Waterfall?
waterfall. Yeah, we love the waterfalls.
There shouldn't even be cars in downtown. It should just be pedestrians only. Like,
Yeah,
They
but
can
we're
have-
talking about like around the country, like when we're
Oh,
up in the highlands,
those.
you have
Yeah,
to pay
okay,
like
yeah,
3,000 kroner for parking. And it's just like the easiest way. Someone figured this out. It's the easiest way to charge tourists for nothing.
Yep.
Yes. So the thing is, like,
yeah, and like half the fun of like driving around the country is being able to sort of stop wherever you want and have a look at some shit. And it's like
Yeah.
they're taking that away.
so we were
Another win for capitalism.
so in this office we were
Hooray for capitalism.
in this office we were trying to write a piece called "The 5 or 10 Worst Waterfalls in Iceland."
I'm
Based on Google
representing
reviews.
this office.
There's, That's like this is like the archetypical Grapevine article.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
This is,
it
this
is.
is like exactly
What, the worst waterfall?
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah, the 5 worst waterfalls in Iceland,
according to Google reviews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and so
Do
so-
people review?
yes,
People
waterfalls?
review everything on Google Maps or TripAdvisor. Or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I mean,
Yelp
if you
is
like
the
the one of
classic
the one of the places in Iceland with the worst review, overall, is the emergency room in the hospital.
Yeah, I've been there. I should write a review.
And you should write the Google review. So anyway, so we were
No, just,
scavenging,
I'm gonna write a review, print it out, and like
put it on the wall there.
Yeah.
So we were kind of going through some of these places, like Skógafoss, Seljalandsfoss,
Yeah.
Svartifoss,
Now we're just making up names.
Dettifoss, Fossfoss, Fossfoss. So Fossfor, and the what came
May
to
the
light.
Foss be with you.
May the force be with you. And what came to light for me, at least, and reminded me of the stuff, at least the lead for the last issue, written by I can't remember. No, your last issue at the Source, not the Grapevine.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry, I
Never
didn't
mind.
bring the
It's
source
like
with me.
you've been taken hostage. Like
Was that like people were giving these, like there were some like random funny reviews, like there's too much water, can you turn down the water or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, but most of the time, people were just complaining not about the waterfall. They kind of like the waterfall, but they
Yeah.
used this as an opportunity to complain about two things, or three things usually.
Yeah.
Number one, the parking fees.
Yes.
Like the incomprehensible rates and how difficult it was to pay for some of these sometimes. Like literally,
Yeah.
it took like
Yeah.
dozens
That's
of
the
minutes
ultimate insult about like fucking parking is not that you have to pay for it, but that they make it so difficult that
You
they
have to,
put
like-
these stupid machines that never work.
The machine doesn't work. You have to like find some app. It's a whole hassle.
And then like
thing.
yeah, good luck not paying it and then explaining to the cops like, oh well the meter didn't work.
Do you
know?
have a built-in rage against the machines?
I have built-in rage against so many things.
Yeah.
Machines don't, have a monopoly on my rage, Aðalsteinn.
No. I
my,
know.
my rage is open to all and available anytime.
And so
You know where to find me.
once you like figured out how to pay for parking after like downloading an app and screaming at the sky for
my
25
God.
minutes,
All these
then was the
apps.
thing. If it didn't work out, you would get like charged like what do you call it, like a fine basically.
Yeah,
Like triple or
insane.
quadruple-
Fine.
an insane fine. The second thing was like you've paid for the parking, the facilities are either like so you expect something in return,
Yeah.
and the facilities are either non-existent or
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, it's just like a flat patch of gravel covered in bird shit.
And then the third thing, also probably because you've paid, and this annoys you, in many locations the paths or sort of like the infrastructure is shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's just mud and water and shit all over the place.
Yeah, you're like
So-
risking your life for
so
exorbitant rates.
Maybe even jack shit.
Jack shit. So essentially, what you would kind of like, in this attempt of writing a funny piece about the 5 worst waterfalls
Yeah.
in Iceland, we just found out that tourism
Everyone
policy
hates-
and tourism infrastructure in Iceland aren't really, they're not hitting the mark. it
I think
seems.
you can follow a lot of investigative journalism leads that will lead you to this conclusion
Yeah.
because it's a pretty rampant problem in Iceland and
Yeah,
has
it
been
is.
for some time.
Yeah, we always try to maximize the profit without doing anything. I mean, you can take any example you want.
I have
It's always
sometimes
like
with
this.
this the
Yep.
example I have sometimes taken is that it's about the experience. You come here, you land at Keflavik Airport.
Mhm.
the
What
first
an
thing-
experience that is.
Yeah, and you immediately start hemorrhaging money.
Well, and then the first thing you have to do is to get to Reykjavík usually.
Mhm.
So you have to take a flight bus
yes.
Yeah.
because there's no bus and there's no like.
Well,
public
there is,
bus, but it's hidden.
but no one tells you
Where
about
it
it.
is.
So there's no train from the airport because the people that own Flybus have lobbied hard or have been part of the group that lobbies really hard against it to maintain this monopoly that they have on the transport.
And at least they used to. I don't know how it is today, but they actually used to have an actual monopoly on this. They were
Well,
sérleyfishafa.
that
It's
has
like the
basically
only company allowed.
Yeah.
To
drive this route.
For the past 5 years, there was competition. There was another company called Airport Direct.
Yeah.
That is not the case anymore, and it's only the Icelandic Flybus thing now.
And it
Yeah.
was
Nothing else.
one of the owners was Bjarni Ben's father, wasn't it?
Yeah, the father of our
Ice Hot's father,
former,
Ice Hot Senior,
the father of our former finance minister,
Yeah.
foreign minister, etc.
whose family is back in the news.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Will
we'll
we?
get to that.
I think
So-
Bjarni Ben Ice Hot will set off another fire alarm before he lets us talk about that.
So what I was gonna say is like the first experience is to get from the airport to the city, and you're already getting charged. What is it now? 4,000 kroner or something for that one way
4,000
You're
kroner,
already
wow.
getting
Shit.
thoroughly.
shafted, and
Yeah.
and on top of that, you've paid like pretty high rate for that bus. It doesn't even run on a schedule.
No, it's just like they wait for
they
it to
wait
get
for it
full.
to get full, and then you go.
Yeah.
It's an amazing system.
It's an amazing system, and that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the trip, I guess. To an
Yeah.
extent. So I guess
I
when
do
people are feeling incensed because they're being charged for things that seem either overpriced or
yeah.
don't make sense to be paying for at all, well, that's kind of a fair assumption.
Yeah. I mean
I'd say.
that is like a pretty accurate description of Iceland. Like everything good about this country is, for a visitor anyway. Like it's here in spite of our people's best efforts, not because of them.
But then, like, to segue this into something positive, swimming pools.
Mm.
We love swimming pools, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, but I really don't like the tourists coming in the swimming pool because they don't shower properly.
It's better to come
What about the
first
tourists?
and then go to the pool.
What about the tourists that that shower properly? Are you happy with them?
Yeah, I really like those tourists.
So this is only.
I always try to like compliment them.
Yeah, very good.
It's like you're doing a good job.
Thank you for not coming in the water.
Yeah.
So
you really know how to get clean.
So this next announcement or whatever this is for the tourists who can shower properly.
Yep.
And get complimented by Aðalsteinn.
The rest of you can
In the
get
showers.
fucked. Yeah.
The Reykjavík
Yeah, not
swimming
in
pools.
the pools though.
we have Reykjavík has multiple swimming pools, as you know, and it costs around 1,000 kroner the admission.
Yeah, it's gotten kind of steep.
And they're nice. They're very nice.
Yeah.
And they're all over the place.
Still cheaper than seeing a movie or
yeah, they're great.
a burger. Yeah.
And
or a
last
single beer.
and
yeah, Jesus fucking Christ.
and from today onwards, they will now be open one more hour into the evenings. They'll be open till 10 in the evenings instead of 9.
Mm-hmm.
So more swimming time for those who like to soak in the hot tub. This reminded me of the fact that the swimming pools used to be open till 10 o'clock every night for decades.
Yeah.
Until April last year, when the city decided to cut the opening times by an hour, this particular hour.
As like a cost-saving measure.
As a cost-saving measure. This press release I was reading said that they will now keep these swimming pools open for the 3 months of summer until 10 o'clock in the evenings, and this is going to cost the city of Reykjavík an estimated 7 million kroner. Which means that if they would go back to having them open till 10 year-round, it would cost the city just under 30 million kroner. Which starts to begs the question, like, is that all this money saving they were doing?
That's
30 million kroner?
That's like the money I spend every year on fucking, Cheerios or whatever. That's nothing.
Wow.
It's a lot of Cheerios.
Iceland is expensive. Have you priced Cheerios lately?
Is the Cheerios waiting in the backstage to confronted by you?
My bathtub full of Cheerios, as stated on my rider. I hope you provided this time. I'm not taking your fucking off-brand Cheerios. I want General Mills.
You're getting
brand.
What is off?
Does that even exist?
Yeah, like
Sure.
mock Cheerios. Have you ever been to America?
No, I mean in Iceland. I mean,
No, you couldn't
mock
get
anything.
you could probably get them at Costco.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
maybe.
Or I'm sure Euroshopper has like oat rings. Euroshopper oat rings.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. Euroshopper O-rings.
Yeah, but this is like the typical like Icelandic center-right policy thing, that you have to make sure that the people feel the
money being saved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you have to find somewhere so people experience it.
manifests.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's the case.
It's like the cost conscience that the right is like really focused on in Iceland.
But yeah, I mean, I presumably they decided to shave those particular hours off the opening times because that's when people weren't going to the pool.
No,
right?
actually, I think that one of the things they talked about was that back then was that there were so many teenagers in the pools that it was just creating kind of more work.
I mean, they used to have the pools
More
open
cleanup.
in the summertime
more
until
cleanup.
midnight.
More heavy petting.
They used to?
What?
Yeah, for like a trial period, like 2 or 3 years. During the summer months, you could stay at selected pools until midnight.
That sounds nice.
It was amazing. I would go after my kids were asleep. It's like I wouldn't leave them alone at home, but my wife would be there.
You would go alone to the swimming pool?
Yeah, have a swim. Soak
So
in
nice.
the sky.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the...
Drinking the pool water.
Yeah. It's one of the... This is one of the great privileges of living in Iceland.
Yeah, drinking the pool water.
Drinking the pool water is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, they're not serving us anything else. Like, what else are you gonna fucking drink in there?
Right. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can just drink water, I guess.
I can drink water at home.
True. Yeah. A lot of things you can drink at home.
Yeah. More than you can drink at the pool. That's true.
That is true. I kind of wanted to talk about a different thing here. There was a concert this weekend that hit the news.
Yes.
A concert.
A concert. There was a concert in Laugardalsvöll.
Yeah, you were talking about
There was a stadium concert.
experience. Yeah.
There's a stadium concert in Laugardalsvöll, which is...
Aren't you playing a little fast and loose with the concept concert?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe with
This
the
is
word
just-
stadium too.
Yeah.
Showcase of
I mean, this was like
schlocky might have beens in a
this was
sports
probably
hall.
like really fun, but they are like
until people started peeing on the floor and suffocating.
So
yes.
Yeah.
so in
That's usually when the fun ends.
I mean, wasn't it like 15 people who showed up at the emergency room with broken bones or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I have no idea what they showed up with, but they showed up. So, to put this in context, what kind of surprised me was the fact that there was
And it takes a lot to surprise you.
I'm
just to
never
know-
surprised.
know.
Look at my face.
Yeah.
This is his surprised face.
I'm so surprised now.
Yeah.
And happy to note. I asked you before we started recording.
Have you consulted your Jonte mood chart? The many moods of Jonte?
Yeah, it's all like ranks at 10 in happiness.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's freaky but true.
Mm-hmm. I'm part of the statistic for Iceland that I help the statistic that Iceland is one of the happiest places in the world.
Yeah.
I'm the underlying factor there is me.
Yeah. You are underlying. Okay.
I'm an underlying factor.
You're wrecking the grade curve.
So in Iceland there's a radio station called FM 957 or FM 957, right?
Yeah.
And that radio station has a show.
The frequency FM 95.7.
Why do they always have the same frequencies in all the countries? Have you noticed that? They use the same ones. Maybe some scientist can explain it to me in the comments.
That would be amazing.
Like everywhere you go, it's like there's a 957, there's a 977, there's a 103.7. It's always the same one.
Something 0.7.
Did you guys notice that I visited the comment section last week?
Not until you told us about it.
Ah, okay.
You gave it away. That was pretty funny though.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was you. So this radio station has a radio show called FM 95
Blah.
Bleu.
Yeah.
And what was the first thing that surprised me about the story was that this show was turning 14.
Yeah.
What?
So like I
And
think
I didn't know the show was still going on. I thought it died like 10 years ago.
I think there's a lot in this story which, you know, it speaks to Icelandic
shocked.
culture and sort of how
sophisticated that culture is.
how segregated it is, and also sort of how little maybe people from the outside realize like what is the real Iceland, like what is the true Iceland. And that's something that's kind of always fascinated me, because tourists that come here think that, you know, stuff like, you know, Sigurðarson is like very indicative of like Icelandic culture, kind of like aesthetically and artistically, it's this sort of, or like, you know, of Monsters and Men or something, where it's like this sort of like artsy sort of very like, you know, with like an emphasis on, you know, nature and these things, you know, the black sand deserts and whatnot. But actual Icelandic culture is maybe something that resides in our suburbs, which is where most of Iceland lives.
Yeah.
And like this radio station, which was like the main pop station throughout most of the 90s and the 2000s, and I guess still, you know, is like, I don't know what they're doing, but yeah, like guys like
They're doing Lord's work.
doing God's work. And I don't know about you, but like Jonte and I were like we didn't even know that these guys were still on the air.
No, I know. I'm so connected to the Icelandic cultural
You
heritage.
have, yeah.
No, but I mean, for every one person that would recognize any member of Sigurðarson, there are at least 10 Icelandic people that would recognize
The hosts of this show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
probably
are-
like a bigger ratio, even,
Yeah.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, they're called Auðun Blöndal, Steindi Jr., and Gilsinegger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Egill.
they are, you know,
Egill Einarsson, yeah.
at least two of those people are somewhat controversial characters in and of themselves. Like, I mean, you know, and have caused scandal, you know, through various ways, and have been these sort of like, maybe, I don't know how you would even explain it, like these sort of stereotypically sort of, you know, maybe slightly racy, cultural, like, you know,
Jockey types?
yeah, but like what is the culture that like Auðun Blöndal and Gilsinegger come from? Like it's, you can't even really, I mean, is it like a Nordic thing? Because it started with like the whole like Naki thing, like if you go back far enough.
Yeah, if you go 20, 25 years back, it comes from that. And I it's hard to explain what that means, but but it used
There's
to
like
mean
like a bleach, like frost
you would
tipped
bleached
kind
hair,
of tight.
scooter music,
Yeah.
sports cars.
I mean, Scooter has like what 5 times he has come to Iceland to have like a concert.
Yeah, and it's
In
always
Laugardalsvelli.
sold out.
Scooter isn't a guy; it's a band. But a lot of people think
I mean, I don't
Okay.
know.
that.
I don't listen to music.
No, I know. It's just funny. Like so many people think it's a guy, but it's Anyway, doesn't matter.
So they threw a 40-year-old they were celebrating it 14 years, and they had a thing at this
The venue of
stadium.
Scooter, the band.
Yeah, their very choice of venue is very like dated. It is very like anachronistic. Like, and maybe they did that on purpose because it's like this old sports hall, like mainly used for like handball games or something. But now there's like a concert hall, and there's another sports hall called Aðalsteinn, which is bigger and arguably would have been better choices. But they picked this one, which you know,
but I don't think the problem was like the location. It was like the
organization
the
of it.
organization of it. I
So
mean,
So they were like, so they had 10,000 people show up, according to the news, and musical guests were like stuff like Jóhanna Guðrún of Eurovision fame, Herran Hnetusmjör, Mr. Peanut Butter, it's like a hip hop thing, Pretty Boy Choco, my least favorite, I think.
Various sandwich spread themed people. I mean, you know, but those are sort of the next generation's kind of pop stars in Iceland. You know, domestic pop stars, kind of more hip hop centered.
Yeah, Herran Hnetusmjör, the son of a former minister.
Yeah.
Pretty Boy Choco, an heir to a chocolate factory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Crème de la crème.
But I think it speaks to sort of like the intergenerational reach that those guys have, like Gildenegger and De Blue, that they can sort of they've become kind of cultural gatekeepers in a weird way, which sort of says a lot about Iceland.
Yeah, I mean, if you take Auðun Blöndal, he's like the hardest working man in show business. He for a period of time, he was like hosting this talent show on Channel 2, the biggest privately run television station in Iceland. He had this show, the most popular radio show on air, and then he was like making documentaries about sports people in Iceland, like pretty good documentary shows.
Yeah.
And so he's like, he has a connection to so many different groups of Icelandic people, different ages, different interests. And then Steindi Jr. also. I mean, this private media company has like gambled on these guys and made them stars.
Yeah.
Steindi Jr. was like, you know, the biggest kind of comedian in Iceland for like a hot minute there.
Yeah.
And then sort of, I wouldn't say faded into obscurity, but he's
still around.
Yeah, he kind of just became another one of the.
But so due to a mixture of overcrowding and organizational failures, a bunch of people had to go to the emergency room. There was like, to seek medical help. You said broken bones. I'm not sure about that, but people were getting stampeded.
And the fact that there was even a stampede, even that to me is sort of like a throwback. It's like a cultural anachronism. Like everything about this, like it's, you know,
screams the 90s.
It's something that I would have thought that we would have been able to overcome.
Do you think this is like our own version of Woodstock 99 going on?
It is a little bit like that, isn't it? I mean, I feel like this was like a cultural flashpoint, but it is also very Icelandic that due to the fact that it was just like a poorly organized show, that people got seriously injured.
Yeah, I mean, Ísleifur Þórðarson, one guy who now runs Iceland Airwaves, the festival, who's run numerous concerts in various venues over the past 25 years, said on Visa this morning that the organizers were just lucky that nobody died. That's how seriously he was looking at this.
Yeah,
because it seemed like
he put all the blame on the organizers.
Yeah, all the blame.
Good.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
So why did they pick Löðursöll? Like, let's talk about that for a minute. Like, why it's got to be like a conscious choice. Like it has to reflect something.
I mean, it's central. It's big enough if handled correctly. I mean, they had like 9 hours of schedule.
9 hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
According to the news. I mean, I wasn't
That's
there.
insane.
And then they announce like, oh, we're gonna take a 15-minute break, and everyone just try to leave because it gets insanely hot.
It's a
in
terrible
Löðursöll.
venue, yeah. Like everyone who's been there for any significant show or amount of time, there's just like it's like a heat trap in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not use like Harpa or Eilsall though to do this?
I think Harpa is just
Too
too expensive, too small.
Too small for this.
Why go to the trouble of building something like Harpa if it's not hosting events like this? It's just like it's such a
I
fucking
don't
money
think
pit, that place.
People of Harpa really like FM9 Blö.
Well, the people of Harpa need to get off their fucking high horse. Like, that's Iceland. Like, if
Yeah.
you can't provide a venue for this fucking salt of the earth, horse shit,
Yeah,
then
and Harpa is like home of the Icelandic Symphony, the Icelandic Opera, which like isn't.
Isn't it? I don't know. Isn't it?
Yeah.
It doesn't
No,
have
the
another one.
Icelandic Opera isn't like operational. They're trying to make this thing called the National Opera or something.
it's
Oh.
not it's not operational because nobody wants to see that shit. Like, the kids want to see fucking Herra Hnöttismér and, and
Other spreads.
yeah, and various other spreads.
Spreads.
I mean, they have all kinds of bougie shit at Harpa. They had the fucking that cowboy show, and they got all the
The cowboy show.
yeah, and the was it like Frostrósir and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't even know
Yeah,
what any of this stuff is called.
sure. They have
It's just if they can do that, they can do this. I don't know why anyone's still going to Löðursöll in the year 2025 when you can have
I don't know.
I am not a concert organizer, obviously. So
What?
Well,
Oh,
I lied.
Okay, let's
That-
leave
the
subject.
the Aðalsteinn Aid concert I promised you is I'm not actually doing it.
Okay, shit.
do you guys want to talk about the protests? That
Your
took
potatoes,
place?
you'll have to finance your own potatoes.
Yeah, you guys want to talk about the protests from this last weekend?
I really.
You don't.
I mean, I didn't.
You didn't go?
Follow it really. I mean, it's such a idiotic thing because they're protesting something that isn't
A thing.
a thing. I mean, we have the numbers.
Yeah.
They are protesting immigrants
Yeah.
and particularly asylum seekers
Yeah.
coming to Iceland. We have like roughly 400 asylum seekers
Yes.
this year.
Yes.
I mean, even though the country only, what's the population?
400,000,
400,000 plus minus 1,000 or something. I
Yeah.
mean, 400 asylum seekers isn't a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just watching, the news in America, and they're racist, reactionary, right wing American heroes are.
But they say they are not racist, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay. Well, I'll have to drop that accusation.
So this protest took place on Austurvöllur on Saturday in front of Iceland's parliament.
Yeah, and
It
in
was-
front of Hotel Borg, if you want to go into that.
Yeah, and it was organized by somebody called Sigfús Aðalsteinsson, who was quoted saying, "We are not racists."
Yeah.
Um,
We just
Have
don't
that carved
want-
on his fucking headstone.
and
Not a racist.
yet one of the speakers on the behalf of the protest organizers, I guess, is a musician called Brynjar Barkarsson.
Yeah.
He
Again, musician here being used in
quotation marks.
the sort of cultural sense of the term.
But this comes back to what we were talking about before. He is the son-in-law of former Prime Minister, Finance Minister Bjarni Benediktsson.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's interesting to imagine the dinner conversations when that family
thinking
like
about that
gathers.
as well. Yeah.
But he's also a member of a band called Club Top.
Yeah,
Miss
which
Brynjar?
and
And-
they have been. Yeah, okay, go on.
And here it comes.
I noticed the
and-
finger.
Earlier in May, Club
It's
Top shows were
like police
Yeah.
officer.
police, the police were-
the little waggle.
earlier in May.
Now, hold on, son.
that band's concerts got cancelled. They had been booked at some like different places, and they were cancelled because of a social media post by said Brynjar Barkason, where he said, and I quote, "The problem is people from the third world, and they embrace Islam. These are bloodsuckers who have no respect for our customs and culture. They have come here to suck the system dry, rape, and mouth off." So this is the guy who was the chosen speaker by the organizer of the protesters, who said they were not racists.
Yeah.
Kind of doesn't really.
I'll say this in his defense: he is kind of representing Icelandic culture in a lot of ways. I think there is like a. I think there is.
Elaborate.
I think there is like a pretty, detestable but strong undercurrent of sort of racism that runs under a lot of. And I feel like I've said this before, but has anyone, why is it that no one considers the fact that maybe Icelandic culture isn't something we want to hang on to? Like like people are always arguing in defense of our language and saying that if we lose our language, we lose our culture. But there's a lot about our culture that, like, in my opinion, isn't really worth hanging on to or defending, and a lot of it is embedded into our language. But I mean, we're not talking about that. But yeah.
Well,
we aren't even speaking the language, so
yeah. A former professor of Icelandic at the university, Eiríkur Rögnvaldsson, right?
Yeah.
He actually took a bite at, he didn't name him, but he took a bite at Brynjar Barkason, the guy from Club Dub. Saying like it was funny to him that this guy was worried about the Icelandic sort of culture and heritage and the language, and then he quoted some of his songs, which are all in sort of like hardly Icelandic.
Yeah, and what's his name? The political commentator guy, Egill, pointed out that he was wearing like a Manchester United shirt. And talked about how there's hardly a better symbol of globalism on earth than like the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
But I mean, in defense of Icelandic culture, I mean, I think the Icelandic language is, I mean, worth holding on to, and we have some things in our culture like that's worth holding on to, but this isn't about that. I mean, none of the speakers at this protest or the politicians who speak in this direction. I mean, you cannot get them to like pinpoint what this Icelandic culture that we are losing is.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're trying to conjure up some sort of rage that just isn't really there.
Yeah, but they're just saying like Iceland is, still is, and historically has been like a white country of Christians that don't really attend church or do anything with that Christianity.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that is very.
That's
Icelandic,
the culture that they're talking about. It seems because I mean, we don't really have
the most vanilla entitled thing imaginable.
And I mean, Icelandic culture is what? Going to the swimming pool?
Going to Laugardalshöll to see
Haraketismir.
Yeah, and no one is taking that away from you.
No, I'm pretty sure that's true.
Except for the other 10,000 people crushing you and breaking.
Yeah, I mean
legs.
that's after you have experienced like 4.5 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Of non-stop euphoria.
Yeah.
No, but what is Icelandic culture? I mean,
that's a good question.
What are we preserving?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't find a more pathetic windbag than this, than this guy, this Club Dub guy. What was his name?
Brynjar.
Yeah.
Well,
because like he doesn't, he doesn't even know what it is he's railing against. He doesn't even. I feel like, like I said, I just think he's copying what he's heard on foreign news. I mean, he's saying anything he really.
Because nothing of the things that they speak of has any like relation to the actual world
No,
we are living in.
I think no, in the context of of Iceland. So I think
Yeah,
this is
I'm
like
talking
this is a
about
topic
Iceland.
we've discussed before, which is like when you try to import foreign culture wars and apply them in Iceland, right?
Yeah.
And this goes, I think, in my, at least according to my memory, my very unreliable memory, this goes both to like left-wing politics and right-wing politics, right?
I rely heavily on your memory.
And and I remember, so this is now we're importing like this idea of that we're being sort of consumed by a wave of immigration, which isn't the case here. And our culture is being swept away by it. And this is definitely something we're importing from the culture war in the United States or elsewhere, maybe somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, England.
And the statistics here just don't match the idea. And then I remember was it 4 years ago when the Black Lives Matter thing was going on, which is a thing on the left.
Yeah.
And right?
Yeah.
And that
definitely.
resulted in some protesting going on here, and people talking a lot about like police brutality here.
Yeah.
And I mean, sure, there are like I've been a cop. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
You have? Yeah.
I have. Yeah, I know. It's news to you, but I mean the like systematic police
the
brutality.
only honest cop in Iceland.
Yeah, like systematic police brutality is not a problem here.
No, I mean the
corruption
we have
and, like abuses of power. Sure,
yeah,
but
that,
you don't.
that thing we don't have that. So like it's another case of like importing like a different thing, trying to apply it here. It doesn't apply here.
No, definitely. But yeah, it's
Just take an example from a different.
And of
you
course,
don't think
we
cops
cannot,
abuse their power here?
I'm sure, but it's not like a.
No one is getting shot regularly by police.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I mean,
like they're
people.
like,
I mean, we have some cases of
it happens.
police exerting excessive force on people. That happens. Usually, it's well documented. It is discussed. We can like do better jobs in. I mean, we should have. Innri endurskoðun.
Yeah, like a review of things. Yeah,
we can definitely do things better, but it's not the same reality as we are watching in the American news or
I thought it was
even the UK news.
I thought it was really interesting, like when it made the news here that like some cops here were wearing like the Punisher patches or whatever.
the thin blue line thing.
Yeah, and like that was sort of their way, I think, of applying foreign culture wars to here in a way that
definitely.
they don't really know what they're doing.
No.
Like they're just wearing something and not really knowing that it stands for.
That was their actual excuse. We didn't know what this stood for.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they.
And I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
So like again, another example of like taking things completely out of context in a way, and this protest felt out of context.
Yeah, definitely. But we should. Definitely not ignore the fact that there is a large group of Icelandic people who believe in this stuff, and like Sindri, you were saying, like there's a strong undercurrent of these beliefs, and I mean, Iceland is always like 5 to 7 years behind. And what we have seen in the just this cultural war and the way people are talking about different groups of people within each country. I mean, this is something that's only gonna get worse in Iceland in the years coming.
Yeah, the anger is there to be harnessed, and some people like the horse party and others have sort of flirted with the idea of harnessing that anger, but it seems like it's ebbed away a little bit maybe. But I could be wrong.
I was just discussing at the office this morning at the Source, the hip hop magazine.
Yeah.
We were review. We were
reminiscing about stuff, or trying to.
No, not reminiscing. we were thinking about these series of reports that we made a few years ago, where we were speaking to experts.
Yeah.
Who were saying, in 3 to 5 years' time, we're gonna experience a lot worse. Gliðnun, like polarization in regards to foreign people moving to Iceland, about the Icelandic culture and stuff like that, and that just basically has materialized.
Yeah.
now.
It is happening. Yeah, I wonder if this protest kind of is perhaps like a watershed moment here. Maybe
It's a pretty pathetic
It's a
watershed.
it's a
I was gonna
pathetic
say,
one,
like,
but
I'm
maybe-
kind of glad that so far the sort of racists of Iceland are being led by idiots who can't even.
I don't know if he's an idiot, but he's angry. The guy who organized the protest, but the thing is, like, we haven't had protests like this before, and now people are willing to show up
in
They,
person.
like, on Facebook, they like put their name as attendees of this,
Yeah.
and it's like there's no shame.
No.
They're just like really confident.
Yep.
We're not racist. We just don't want foreign people moving to Iceland.
Yes. And they're willing to do that openly in
Yeah, and
in
like
front of everybody.
like this club.
I think
thug
that's
guy.
the watershed thing for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
That's new. I think that's new, and
Waterfalls, watershed, a lot of moments regarding water.
don't
Yeah.
go chasing watersheds.
What?
So it's yeah, I think it's stupid and weird as it is. It's a new chapter. It feels like.
Yeah.
Not a good one necessarily. Right. Do you guys want to talk about sourdough and breathalyzers?
Please.
Yeah, I mean, this was
Anything
like a
but-
watershed moment for me. I do a lot of sourdough, so
Yeah, you saw the story, right?
yeah, I saw the story.
Yeah, I was this story cheered me up. So a guy
This
was
is abuse of police power if I've ever
Yeah,
seen it. You can't even eat a loaf of sourdough anymore.
so a guy was pulled over in the town of Akureyri, Iceland's second city,
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
whatever.
if you say so.
If you say so.
Well, it's,
A
it's,
town
it's,
of-
it's the first city alphabetically.
Yeah, a town of 20,000 people, I guess, in the north of Iceland. He was pulled over and he was made to breathe into a breathalyzer, which showed him as being drunk. He protested that and told the police officer he had never in his life had a drink, and pointed out that he'd been eating a sourdough sandwich, and this might perhaps fuck with the breathalyzer. The police officer was not too keen on this idea, but eventually the guy in question was allowed to like rinse his mouth with water or something and breathe again, and then it turned out there was no alcohol in him at all.
So sourdough can set off breathalyzers. Is
Apparently,
the takeaway from this.
sourdough can set off breathalyzers,
Yeah.
which is news to me.
I just want to say, and like I hope I don't offend too many people, but I find this story like very Akureyri, like
Yeah,
how it's
this is
both kind of
peak Akureyri.
both kind of very countryside, but also a little bougie, like at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most exciting thing that has happened to anybody eating a sourdough sandwich ever.
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely
Oh,
not
I
the
would
thing
like
you would
a
expect.
sourdough
their
sandwich.
property rates are soaring. I saw in the news
In Akureyri?
Akureyri, yeah, they're like lots of people are trying to buy houses there, right?
I mean, the middle class is growing stronger in Akureyri.
Yeah.
People are eating sourdough by the loaves.
Getting pulled over.
I mean, a loaf of sourdough is really expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could
True.
go like 10 times to the swimming pool for that. Price of a loaf.
2 times.
2
3
times.
times, maybe.
3 times, yeah.
I don't know how much is a loaf of sourdough.
I make my own.
Yeah, I used to do. If you make your own, it's very cheap.
Yeah.
It's about what, 300 kroner maybe, 200,
If that.
if that. It's quite cheap.
Yeah.
We could.
And I'm cheap. I make my own potatoes.
Yeah, which are actually a better ingredient for alcohol than the sourdough, isn't it? No, not necessarily.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Why do people like sourdough so much? Is it just because it's? I feel like it leaves like a funny aftertaste.
Oh, I like the taste. And it's
Yeah.
also, it feels better. I mean, if I eat like traditional yeast bread,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't feel so good.
Me neither. I can't eat that.
No,
But if
would
I
would I
eat-
feel better if I ate sourdough?
Yeah, definitely.
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah. That's my opinion on it anyway. It treats your digestive system a lot better.
Cool. Wow, I could be into that.
If you're familiar with like.
Should we get together and make some
Yes.
sourdough?
I mean, for
later?
your birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a pizza oven.
I have a pizza oven.
There you go.
Maybe we should let our pizza ovens meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should introduce them to each other on my porch.
Yeah. Why not my porch? Okay.
Or your porch.
No.
No. I mean, yours the one with the nice weather. Where
I get the message, Jóndi.
Well, I can tell you there is also a trampoline on my porch.
Wow.
But because I'm better than you,
Yes.
that thing is very secure.
Yeah. I mean,
Or maybe it's because the weather on my porch is worse. I'm not sure.
yes.
Anyway,
Okay, this has been fun.
this is fun.
Nice being back.
Yeah,
Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Is
We
it
missed
though?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed you.
Wow.
Can't
Not
speak for
many
Sindri.
people miss me.
Well, we do.
Yeah. That's why I keep coming back.
That's why you keep coming back. Thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
We have been and are Iceland Roundup. See you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
See you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.